One time for your mind. Digibro, Mathie, Solid, 2014. Swagger, here we go. I'm about to get wild on some pony ass. Fuck it, roll the fucking window down, put it on the gas. Applejack, getting jacked with me in the backseat. Fit the jack, fucking just jacked up and everything. Let me come and lay your motherfucking beat down. Grab him by the teeth and drag the skinny asses downtown. Niggas want the buckets, I'ma bust it on your face now. Flip it for me, grip it, AJ, this ain't nothing but bliss now. This isn't a motherfucking My Little Pony episode, motherfucker. This the dirty beat that grippin' swag of a scary nigga. This that tells how dark you heard about in 40 weeks. ADX and I'm the motherfucking darkness in the streets. Applejack brings the motherfucking muscle. Matt and Sully bring the motherfucking hustle. This ain't about love and toleration. This about taking out the whole entire nation. This about grabbing all the haters by the throat and bitch slapping their asses till they can't hate no more. And you know it, Master D, that's the voice you heard flowing. Getting demonic on the motherfucking track. Oh, who am I kidding? This act is really fucking whack for you.
Swag.
I don't even know what swag means on the real though.
One last deep and philosophical question.
Oh dear.
Are the characteristics of having swagger codependent on one's self-perceived swag?
I would say yeah. I would say if you want to have swagger and you think you have swagger, that is the definition of having swag.
Is it possible for one to have swagger without knowing that one has swag?
I think so, yes. I think that one can indeed give oneself swagger by, just should I quit while I'm ahead? Also, the biggest stumbling block for me here is the grammatical distinction that's being drawn between swagger and swag. I'm not sure what it is.
It is a very ponderous distinction between swagger and swag. See, I view swagger as a physical expression of one's elemental swag. Swag being
okay, that's a useful distinction. Also, probably a logical one. And can I also talk about how swagger is an excellent word, as in the actual verb meaning, a certain type of walk. It was such a perfect word to describe, that action.
And that attitude?
Yeah, exactly, the attitude too. But and then it was commandeered by pop music. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you could say I think therefore I swagger, in the sense that if one perceives oneself as having swag, then that person thus has swagger. I do also believe, though, that a person can have swagger without being aware of it. However, if someone tells somebody without swagger that person has swagger, then that person's swag goes up even though they didn't previously have swagger, because they now perceive themselves as having the swagger. Thus, I'm actually not even sure what that conclusion should be called, but I'm just going to leave that.
Well, we've reached a ontological paradox here, because knowing that one has swag bestows swagger upon oneself. Mm-hmm. But if one inherently has swagger without knowing of their own swag, where did said swagger come from? See, because we've defined a source of swagger as one's self-perceived swag, but the fact that one can have swagger without having self-perceived swag begs the question, what other sources of swagger are there?
This could indeed be a semantic problem, considering that I believe that one can have swagger and be confident in oneself without necessarily knowing of the term swag or swagger, or even, consciously understanding that, their outward sort of the appearance they give off of, being confident. So I feel like you could say that the confusion of sources of swagger could have a lot to do with, I don't know, you could even say a generational gap regarding, lexical definitions.
Yes, but if it were to be taken as sort of an elemental concept that transcends language.
Oh, is that what swagger is now? Okay.
Yes, we're still left with an ontological paradox. The source of swagger other than self.
Oh, other than self? It does seem that swagger is dependent on the other, actually. Because take someone who believes that they have swagger and then have somebody tell them that they do not have swagger. This does not inherently mean that the person whose swagger has been called into question will take the hater's message to heart. However, in such a manner, just as somebody bestowing someone a compliment could give someone without swagger, you could say in the same manner that someone with swagger could be convinced that they do not have swagger. So actually, I think therefore a swag is not correct, because swag is completely dependent on outward perception.
Well, I think that I'm glad that we've cleared that up. I will rest easier tonight than the easierness that I have rested.
How long have we talked about this?
It's
been like 10 minutes.
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I feel oddly fulfilled.